Hey, Louise here, and I am in fat quarter heaven. Look at all these beautiful fabrics and a free pattern. Right down in the description. Click on the link and you'll get to download the pattern. You'll see exactly how easy this pattern goes together. You can use fat quarters as I have, or you can use all your scrappy fabrics because this block is perfect for scraps. And that's going to be the next variation of this quilt. This is actually the first pattern I ever created, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. So with that being said, oh, I have to show you this piece. Isn't this wonderful? I found this at the local quilt store. I think this is beautiful. I love collage, and it works great with all these blues, but we need to move on because there's a lot we need to cover, a lot that I need to show you, and you are going to want to make this quilt immediately. So let's get started. Here's one of the variations of this pattern all blocked in. I love how it can really show focal fabrics, and adding that side border is awesome. There'll be a playlist link up above and you can see all the different quilts in this pattern. You will love just how easy this quilt is to cut. The blocks are very simple. The first thing is to line up, you want 6 fat quarters, and align these two edges. Trim them if you need to. And we're going to do the first cut this way. So I have 18 by 20. You see I have selvages, my long edge, and my 18-inch over here. 5, 10, 15. So I'm going to cut this at 14 and a half. And I'll just line mine up and I'll go 5, 10. That would be 15 and come back half an inch, right? Okay. Now we're going to cut this. And I'm using my big blade since I have 6 layers. This is extra. This is going into my scrap fabric pile. But if you save these extra pieces, you will have enough fabrics to make at least 1 or 2 more blocks, because this is going to make 6 blocks right here. Okay, now we need to trim this to 17. So where are we? We have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, because that would have been my 18 plus. So we're going to cut right there. So I'm cutting this off. This is going to be an extra strip, and this is 1.5 inches. So you see, this adds up really quick. Now I'm going to turn this because that's going to make it easier for me to cut in the direction that I need. At this point, I want to square it up. You obviously saw my hesitation there, and I'm thinking this is going to be 14 and a half, but wait, what happened? My ruler was off. Luckily, it was off in a way that I can fix this, because I have 2 and 5 is 7 and 5 is 12, 13, 14 and a half. So I just need to trim a little bit off up here, which is annoying, but I wasn't paying attention. I was talking and not counting the way I'm supposed to, and so I'll just take this and set that aside. Okay, now we have, where is it? 14 and a half by 17, right? Do we have it that way? We've got 17 this way and 14 and a half. Okay, we're spot on. We're right where we need to be. And I'm going to keep this along the line because I'm going to cut in this direction. First, I'm going to cut 2 inches off the top, or excuse me, 2.5 inches off that top section. And you see I have my 2.5 there. So I'm going to run my rotary that way. But now I need to get my little ruler and cut off 2.5 inches. So the good part here is that we're going to have an extra piece that's 2.5 by 2.5. So even though there are extra pieces that we're not using in these fat quarters, they work really well. They're good sizes to have. Okay, now I'm going to cut in the other direction. And this one should measure 12 inches, which it does, and I'm going to cut it at 5 inches. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5. Okay. Now, we actually need a piece that's 5 by 11.5. So I'm going to come in with my little ruler and just cut off 1/2 inch. So I'll line that up there, and I'm going to cut it down here just because it's easy. And we'll trim that off. I'm not sure what I'll do with these, but I'm saving them. You know, something's going to come, and it'll be fun. Okay, so we have 2.5, then a 5 by 11.5. And the next step is cut 2 inches right here. And we're going to line all this up nice and even. I'm going to move that out of the way so I can see. Now, 1 and 2 on both sides. Make sure I get it straight. And this is an extra piece. So like I say, there are pieces that we're cutting that we're not going to need to use, but they're good sized pieces. All right, we're going to cut this way. And I'm just going to line this up here. Now what I'm going to do is cut this one 7 by 10, because I 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, if everything has gone exactly as planned, we should have a 5-inch strip here, and we do. That's always such a good feeling. And so we're going to have this one and this one. And you know what I'm going to do with a 5 by 10, right? I'm going to cut this in half and make 2 5-inch squares. Okay, now that's it. That's everything we need to do for the cutting. But we can't put our block together like this because it's going to be really boring if it's all the same color. We're going to switch our colors around, and this is the easiest way I know to do it. So I'll leave this one here. I'll take 1 off and put it underneath. I'll take 2 off and put it underneath, and I'm checking to make sure I don't take more. This one will be 1, 2, and 3. And 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this way, every block should have different colors throughout. Now, we are going to also, at this point, lay in our strips. Remember, we had talked about some accent strips, and I have these here and these here. So now, whoops. You see that? I tried to do that. It doesn't fit. So what do? Well, I'm going to move this up just a little bit. And we're going to take this one and swing it here. This fits beautifully. And we're going to take these to this side. Now we're going to have a square. And every block is going to be different. It's going to be beautiful. I absolutely love doing this. So the first thing we do is we're going to join these 3 pieces together. And I press them. No rules on pressing. For me, what I do is whatever seam I press, I just press it to the outside. And that works fine for this. And I'm going to sew these 2 together and then these 2 together. Then this gets sewn to the bottom. I'm going to sew this one, and I'm going to sew this one. If it's easier, you can join these 2 first. There's no right or wrong. But then this is what our block is going to look like. And if you'll notice, the beauty here is that on this side, there's no matching seams. You have a few matching seams here and here, but for the most part, I say matching seams. You have seams, but you don't have to match them because this can be turned and put against another block where there are multiple seams. And I'll show that to you when we lay it out. But that's what I love about this. Even if I match this side up with another block like this, those seams aren't going to match because they're in different places. Same down here. I love how this goes together, and I can't wait to show that to you. So I'm going to go ahead and sew this up real quick, and we will get back and put this quilt together. These tropical colors are fabulous, and they look so wonderful together. And you see how that accent strip throughout each block really brings in some bright color and adds some terrific contrast. And then this is just one long straight seam. And there's no seams to match in putting these blocks together. which makes it wonderful. I think this is the very first pattern I ever made, and I think the way I came up with it is that I didn't want matching seams, but what I did want in particular is ways to show off fabric. So I have a fabric that is going to be in big pieces in some parts of the quilt or some parts of the block, and then smaller pieces, and then put little accents in, and I think it just looks really pretty. Okay, so this is the first step. Get these together, and now I'm going to put the bottom one, and this is the 5-inch, the 5 by 11.5. So let me grab that. I'm working between a couple different blocks. I have them set up. I had some that I had pre-sewn, and I'm just sort of grabbing them to make it easier so you can see what I'm doing. One thing about this, I'm going to take this out a little farther to show you. It is very easy to, number one, put this on the wrong side. And when I say that, I'm talking about when we put this on. It is so easy to put it like this. And that's fine, but when you start doing the final assembly of your block, you're going to have some that are reversed from the other. Now, I'm telling you this because I've done it before, and I did it on some of these blocks a little while ago. And that's okay. I'm going to leave them like that because they're going to fit into the quilt just fine, because every block gets turned in a different direction so it doesn't line up together. And if you switch them up, don't worry about it. It's going to work out. I've never had it become a problem. And one of the things I want to do with this pattern is make a really super scrappy quilt with this, and just get tons of different fabrics so that all these pieces and all the different blocks are different. And I think that, I mean, I don't know, it might be a bit much, but I think it'd be a lot of fun. Okay, so we have this piece on, and now we just need to do the outer edge. So you see how quickly this goes together. And I'm just going to finger press this here. And I'm really only worried about it over here by the seam where we're going to sew. So the first thing I'm going to do is put the accent strip. Now generally my accent strips are much more contrasting than these, but I think because there's just so much going on here, I just kind of wanted to tone it down a bit and keep these a little more subdued. All right, we'll go ahead and sew this one. Now that's the first piece, and you see how this goes together. The two 5-inch here, and then this long one down below. And then we put this strip in, and then I just grab the last piece, and this block is finished. I just love how well this goes together. And that's it. It's finished. Now I'm going to get these pressed, and I'll show you what a couple of them look like. And because I have a couple different sets already sewn up. The one thing, like I said, is keep these pressed, and it's just going to all sew together more easily. But see how fun it is when you get a bunch of these different fabrics, all the different colors together. And then when each set of blocks are combined, while they may have the same prints, they're going to be in different color tones. I mean, there'll be some dark blues, light blues, and the same with each of these. They're all going to be a little different. And I love the fact that there were a lot of different stars to put in this quilt, because I think they're wonderful. That's really what attracted me to this particular fat quarter bundle. All right, let me get some pressing done, and I will show you how these all look. I now have 18 of the 36 blocks I need to make the quilt that I'm planning for a friend. And what I've done here is taken them and grouped them together in a baby quilt size layout so you can get a feel for how it looks. Now, this first one I did is all in the darkest squares. This one, the second one, is sort of the medium with, an equal amount of lights and darks. And then this last one is with the lighter squares being dominant, just to get an idea of how these blocks lay out. Now, this one is the very first quilt I ever made with this pattern, and it's just near and dear to my heart. I just love the way it looks. I really enjoy this pattern. The layout is terrific. The fact that there's no matching seams makes it so simple, and it's a free pattern. Now, here's the thing. It is a free pattern, but it's an old pattern. So this goes back to, I think, 2019 is when I first made this. So I am in the process of rewriting the pattern. Once you get on the list of having received this, when the new pattern comes out, you'll be notified by email, and then you can download the updated version. And it will have pictures of all the quilts that I've done with this particular pattern. So with that being said, have a fantastic day. I hope you enjoy your quilting, and I hope you enjoy this pattern. Thanks so much for following along. It's always a pleasure to be here with you.